All right, so what I've done is I've hung a wrench off a nut on the inside of the link mount bracket. The other idea I had was to just go ahead and make a normal gusset here without this front face, and then somehow run bolts through the top of the gusset for the tube bracket that's coming off of here for the skid plate, but that would make things even more complicated. And all right, well, I got that side tacked in there. You can see my link mount, gusset going around it. I got this front face here, which I'm gonna mount the tube off of for the belly pan or the oil pan skid. And of course I got this in there to keep this link from spreading out. And then I got plenty of room to get the wrench in and out of here. So hopefully that works. And I did notice that this flange on here is hanging down quite a bit further than the link mount. So I'm gonna have to go in and trim that out, which now that I know that, I can do that on the other one before I put it in. So anyway, that's progress. All right, so this side's tacked in there. You can see super limited space in here to work, and I'll fully weld everything after I get the drivetrain back out. I noticed there's some other things I need to address too, but I think as far as the level and the height of these, I'm gonna wait to trim them till after I can turn the rig over and make the actual skid plate for this, because I'm gonna have to trim these up probably across here. But anyway, now that I got those tacked in, I can move this thing back and put it on the table and go to working on the tube outriggers that are coming off of here and the hoop up in the front. All right, so we got the buggy on the little fab table here, and you can kind of see my idea here. And silly me, I would have made this a lot simpler had I put some gap in this bend here. It ended up being a little bit too narrow. That's okay. What I gotta do, I gotta cut it up anyway. So I'll run some tubes that come off of this bar, or this front gusset here. And they'll come off of here like this. And then this hoop will tie into it up in the front here, because these are gonna narrow out, come in here a little bit narrower. And that'll make it pretty nice to where everything clears. And I've got plenty of clearance here on the bottom for the oil pan. So, all right, here we go. All right, well, this is what we got. It's getting late. I've got my tube flanges coming off of this plate on the link gusset. And then I've got a super long notch right here. I'm gonna smooth this. I'll come back and weld this up, cut this out, weld this up so it's a smooth transition, so the belly skid can go straight up like that. It took me a hell of a lot longer than I thought it would, of course. But from here, there'll be a tube that goes down to here, and then maybe comes off of that up to here, most likely. Or some gussets, something. And then there'll be another set of tube flanges just like this right here, so that I can unbolt this whole thing and take it out of here. So anyway, that's where we're at. It took me all day to do this, and I ended up doing some sketchy shit. This was bent a little bit too close together, so I put a 20-ton jack between the two legs and opened it up a little bit. But I think this is going to work. It's nice and compact, it's tight, and anyway, so we'll get back at it tomorrow. All right, it is a beautiful morning. We are out here in the shop already and ready to go. I just got these standoffs that are going up to the motor mount done for, well, they're not done. They're fabbed up, they're notched. Now I got to cut them and put the 2-bolt flanges in them for the oil pan skid. So we'll just keep on going here. All right, well, we got this tied into the motor mount. We got our 2-bolt flange there. And then now I'm gonna take this gusset and weld it in right there on both sides. Get everything as welded or tacked in as stable as possible. And then I'll unbolt the whole thing and smooth this out and fill that in. And we got a oil pan skid plate. Then I can move on to this nemesis of mine, which is the carrier barrel. All right, we're all tacked together. I think what I'm gonna do now is drop this thing back down on the cart and pull the mock-up engine out so I can get better access to everything and go ahead and weld everything up. All right, here we go. All right, we got the mock-up engine out of there. It gives me quite a bit more room. I'll go in here and weld some of this stuff up, and then once it cools off, I'll take it all out and finish up this transition here and weld it up on the bench. All right, here we go. All right, so I got some things welded up on the chassis end. The brackets here and here are welded. Brackets, gussets, whatever you want to call them, are welded to the link mounts. And I've got everything tacked in several places on all the tubing. So I'm waiting on it to cool off. As soon as it cools off, I'll pull this off and weld it up. And then the next thing will be trimming that tail on the tube so the underside of this is flush.